collapsing, struggling for breath and foaming at the mouth. When the nerve agent sarin was used against people in Syria, the world watched on in horror. But the West failed to retaliate. Russia repeatedly blamed terror groups for the atrocities, and the UN Security Council has now addressed concerns Russia is creating a similar false pretext ahead of a chemical attack in Ukraine.
Russia asked the Security Council for today's meeting for the sole purpose of lying and spreading disinformation, and that is exactly what you have heard from the Russian PR this morning.
Russia's misinformation offensive continued at the UN, its representative waving images of the maternity hospital in Mariupol in a feeble attempt to rewrite Russia's brutality.
Russia has today brought into the Security Council a series of wild, completely baseless and irresponsible conspiracy theories. Let me put it diplomatically. They are utter nonsense.
Pressure is now on President Biden to respond.
I'm not going to speak about the intelligence, but Russia would pay a severe price if they use chemicals.
While the White House has announced new measures to tighten the economic vice on Russia, there's a sense of paralysis in the West's response beyond sanctions. US intelligence has been largely accurate in preempting Putin's almost every move when it comes to this invasion, calling out Russia's plans publicly in a bid to try and prevent them. The West is clearly worried about what Putin will do next. What the West wants is for Putin to worry about how they would respond. The inescapable truth in all this is the president, along with Western allies, are unwilling to confront Russia militarily for fear of a wider war in Europe. President Zelensky increasingly frustrated that without more involvement from NATO, there's nothing to deter Putin.
Because we've been repeatedly convinced. If you want to know Russia's plans, look at what Russia accuses others of.
Russian strikes are getting ever closer to NATO's soil, amid growing concerns of a chemical attack. The big question is how the West would respond. Sally Lockwood, Sky News, Washington.